Hello there, my online reselling friends. It's Susie with Online Reselling Bliss. Yesterday, I went to my favorite thrift store, Hospice of East Texas, and I spent $50.07. I bought things to resell. All these things here are things to resell. But out of that $50.07, I also bought personal items for myself. There's more items I have to resell. This is not all of them that I bought that day. And I just wanted you to know that these items right here, it's 56 items. I've gotten them all listed. You know, I went bought them yesterday. I have them listed for a combined total of $997. And again, I still have other things to list, which will be hundreds of more dollars out of that $50.04 investment. And again, I bought stuff for myself. So the whole $50.04 was not all spent on inventory. As far as books go, there's a lot of kind of books that I always like to buy, and you'll get a sampling of that here. I like to pick up these little crochet leaflets. Sometimes they're crochet, sometimes they're knitting. So all these. And then Halloween stuff tends to do good. Little troll outfit. Little Santa pattern. Crochet book on owls. And this is a string art book. Little booklet. It's in poor condition, but it looks like it's from the 70s. And then I got some little craft books on tatting. 3 of those. And this one's really interesting. The only date I can find in this little booklet is 1916. I don't know if it was reprinted, you know, and they didn't put the date. As you can see, copyright 1916. I only found one online, and it was on eBay, and it was listed for $58 and change. And by the way, for these items, I researched every single one by either Amazon or eBay. On some of the items, I researched the item by going to both places, Amazon and eBay. So it takes time, but I like to know where I should price my item. Now, even though I had these items listed for over $900, almost $1,000, I'm not going to get that total amount. And first of all, it'll take years to sell all this. There'll be a few things that sell right away, some in a month, some in 6 months, some in a year, some in 2 years, etc. But there'll be some items that will be sold because a customer sent me an offer, or because I sent a customer an offer. But I like to list my things high. I'm a long tail seller. I would rather get a slow dime than a fast nickel. And so I have a storage unit where all my stuff is, so I have space, although it's quite disorganized, and it's an ongoing thing, trying to organize it, keep it organized, all that. Then I got some nonfiction books. I prefer nonfiction. That's what I like to read, although I do not read true crime. They just stick with me. I can't read them. But I like to pick them up because a lot of people do like to read them. And this book is something about, I think, gold mining back in the day. Now, this book was a surprise. This is an out-of-print book that goes for a lot. And it's got a high sell-through rate on eBay. Most of them have, you know, there's like 40-something listed and like 30-something have sold in the last 3 months. I listed this one for 100. I did go high, although I did see one sold for 100. However, it was signed. This one's not signed. But I went high, can always go down. This is like a parody kind of on Searching for Bobby Fischer, which is, he was a chess master. And that's one of my favorite movies, actually, Searching for Bobby Fischer. And I got 2 of these books, The Recovering. This woman wrote it about, she talked to a lot of different people that were recovering from alcohol or drug abuse. A lot of them were artists or musicians and stuff like that. It's like a good book. It got the Baptist hymnal. I always pick up hymnals. You can sell them for 20, 30, 40, 50. People like them. They like them for being able to, for the piano music. All right. I got my little pile of knitting crochet books. Tend to always pick those up. They can take a while to sell. This one, I don't think I've ever seen one for guys. Knitting with Balls. A hands-on guide to knitting for the modern man. I think it'll probably take a long time for this to sell, but there you go. Got my little pile of Christian books. I love David Wilkerson because when I was an older child, young teen, I loved his book, The Cross and Switchblade. I loved Elizabeth Elliot. I used to read a lot of her books when I was in college. The top one's in bad condition, but the other two are in really great condition. And this is about a mother who lost her baby. I also lost a child at 8.5 weeks. I always pick up books that have to do with that subject matter. I got quilting books. I always pick up quilting books, but again, they can take a while. Now back here, you see that big stack and see that yellow one right there? Those are music books, song books, by Reader's Digest. I'm going to open one up for you. Now these will sell. It'll take a while. I have most of them listed for just $20 each. I think one like at $24, one like at $22, again based on my research. And I forgot to tell you, I got the hardback books for 75 cents each. The softcover books for $1 each. However, some of those I got 50% off because all craft items and some of these books were in the craft section. So if they're 50 cents, I got them for 13 cents. If they're 50 cents, I got them for $1, blah, blah. Like all these little booklets, little things right here, they're all in the craft section. So I got it all extremely cheap. And that Stocking Up book about canning and preserving food and stuff. I always pick those kinds of things up and use like term words like preppers or prepping, homesteading. Let me get up here. So these little things, whoops, it's gonna fall. These make me feel sad. Complete tube feeding and tubal meal time. It's blending feeding tube meal ideals for newbies. It's for making meals for someone who is on a feeding tube. I didn't even, such a thing never even occurred to me. Our baby that died, that was in, goodness, 94. He had spina bifida, but his was very rare. It was, his opening was in his neck, cervical 5, used low down. He never could breathe on his own. And anyway, he was in he had a feeding tube, but he never left the hospital. He passed away at 8.5 weeks. So I never thought about, I guess once you have someone at home, you had to like make their food. He was on formula. It was feeding tube, through his feeding tube. And another great book is right here. Children's book. If you ever see any books by these authors, Ingrid and Edgar Perrin de Allure, snatch them up. I already knew about these books, and I've sold them before. They have, different subject matters that they've written about. Historical, homeschoolers love them. They're out of print. They have really pretty illustrations. So it was funny. The gal at this hospice, their store, it's all these elderly ladies that run it. It's volunteer. It's only open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Anyway, back in the book, this little elderly lady, and she was very hard of hearing, but she had just brought out a cart with some books, and she showed me this one. She's like, "Would you like this book?" I was like, "Oh, yes, I would." And I was like, "Do you have any more by these authors?" But she didn't know of such a thing, and I didn't find any more. But I have this book listed for $50. And again, it's a little bit high. They have an extremely good sell-through rate on this book. It will sell, may go down lower, $30, whatever. And let's see, what else? I guess that's all the books I wanted to talk about. But I wanted to show you, I've got a few more things that I haven't gotten listed yet. Got it in my handy dandy wagon over here. First of all, I have this beautiful woman's scarf. It's gotten wrinkled. I need to use my steamer on it. And all of these sewing patterns, they were $1 each. But again, I got them half off, so like 13 cents each. I sell lots of sewing patterns. This is hundreds of dollars in value. The cheapest I sell a sewing pattern is $9. But I sell them for 15, 20, 30. I've sold them for 40, 50. So that's hundreds of dollars. And then I didn't get this one book listed. So my almost $1,000 total will be, you know, I don't know, $1,400. I'm just guessing. So that's it, my friends. And the funny thing is, I had not been to any thrift store in 10 months. The last time I went to the thrift store was this thrift store and another one the weekend of my birthday back in October. So it's been 10 months, which is unheard of for resellers. But I just have so much stuff I'm dealing with and trying to get organized and all that jazz. All right, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this. You've learned something. Please subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs up, share. I hope you're enjoying reselling, the treasure hunt, and most importantly, you're following your bliss. Take care. Bye-bye.